kind of go off of, we had talked last time about like God knowing our frailty.
Yeah.
And I tell you, Deb, that's brought so much comfort to me, because it's like every time I, mess up or just like, I didn't, God, when am I ever going to learn this lesson?
Yeah.
It's like immediately he reminds me, I know your frailty.
Yeah.
That's what I set my son for. Get up. Keep going. Don't look back, Don't stay stuck. Don't even go with thoughts of condemnation. And that's another thing. Once you start having these thoughts of condemnation, you start entertaining those thoughts, oh man, the enemy just uses those thoughts, and he's like, keep those thoughts coming, because we're going to bring you down even lower. I mean, we need to be so careful.
Yeah, that's where he thrives, on taking one thought and running with it.
And we're the ones that entertain him. But that verse in Psalms has been a real, for this past year. I'm not sure. I read it at one point, and I think God must have known. I mean, I just heap so much on myself. I mean, who doesn't, right? Who doesn't? But I didn't know how to get out of, all those arrows coming out. I think it was just his way of, he knew I needed that to help free me. So,
yeah. No, I know when you were saying that verse, it reminded me of this weekend. We were up in Orange County with a water polo tournament for Bree, and you see a lot of parents and their kids, and you talk to a lot of people, and I was just pondering, because so many parents just, without their kids, they assume their kids are guilty or rebellious or gonna make wrong choices, or it's just
they assume.
I don't know. Yeah, and they assume exactly. And then when the child came to them with anything, the parent was right away suspicious that the kid had done wrong or whatever. Well, I was on the way home, and I was just talking to the Lord about it, and he just reminded me that that's not the kind of father he is. He always sees the best in us. He always believes in us and believes that we're going to make right choices. That's how he is. He believes, he knows our frailties, but he believes the best for us and about us all the time. It's powerful, our perception of God, how what we know him to be is going to greatly affect how we live our life.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I know. Well, it goes back to, our perception of, fatherhood, or who our father is and what he's like. And that is so detrimental, that whole, you mentioned the word suspicious. That suspicious spirit, that is I know, that is so bad, because what ends up happening is, if parents are like that, they actually drive their children into that very thing which they're suspicious about. I mean, that's what ends up happening. I mean, psychology says it, science. I mean, we know that. I mean, but didn't it, even in the book of Job, doesn't it also say there that it says that what he feared had come upon him? And we need to be so careful.
That's right.
Fear can actually take over, and we can actually create an atmosphere around us with fear that'll just drive our children and ourselves into this place that we never had to be to begin with.
No.
But that's what fear does, and suspicion.
Yeah. No, it's awful. I remember a few years ago when my girls were a little younger, in their teens, and they had one friend who had a really hard home life, and so she would come here and just really derail and let loose, and just really awful things that she would come out. And a lot of it was towards her mom, because her mom was really not, just couldn't be a good mom because of stuff that was going on in her life. So anyway, I right away started thinking, well, what if when Bree or Rachel go to someone else's house, that's what they do about me? It just, that hearing that planted those thoughts in me. Yeah. And you know what? It sent me spiraling down. It took me a while. And then finally, Bree looked at me and she says, Mom, I love you. I don't say bad stuff about you. You don't do that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I still took a while, though. I had to let the Lord come in and remind me that I am a good mom, and that I'm doing all I can. I'm not perfect. But, boy, did not take long for me to just all of a sudden be down the road of suspicion, allowing all this awful thoughts.
Well, and it's like, and our kids learn so much by example because, one thing I was talking to my kids about this last week was, that whole topic of honor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and even respect and respecting elders and honoring your elders. And
yeah.
I was telling them about this because I don't know if this next generation really understands that. And I think they have this, I don't know, how you were raised. I think we were raised very similar where you respect your elders and you honor, and there's a blessing.
Yeah.
I mean, the word says there's a blessing that comes upon you. That is a command. And I think that if our children don't understand, you go to somebody's house and you just dog on your parents or you disrespect them with your words, whatever it is, how detrimental that can be to their life in so many ways. Not just spiritually, but in so many other ways, just relationally, so, yeah.
That is so true.
Yeah, but they will learn that from us.
Yeah.
Because our kids watch us, so they will learn by example. Okay, our mom and dad, our mom and dad coming home, are they, they're smart. It doesn't matter how old they are, right? They can hear if mom and dad are talking negative about somebody, or gossiping about somebody, or backbiting and all of that. I know.
Yeah, they hear
examples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's really, this is something too that I think I didn't understand. I did not understand how much of parenting and how much of life is teaching. Because that very concept of honor, forget if you didn't take that afternoon or whatever to teach, and it's probably lesson 1 of many, or it might be lesson 10. I don't know where you're at, but I'm just saying it. I just thought my kids should know all this stuff. I really did. And now I'm realizing, oh my goodness, we have to model it, but we also have to just teach because they don't know. Yeah.
No, you are so right.
Yeah.
That's the whole, train your child up.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of work. I think you and I talked about this. I'm like, having the babies isn't the work. It is training them. It's teaching them. It is constant. And, it is a daily thing. And we want that. We want that because we want to be able to, come 18 or however, they're ready to go into the world and fly and have these things under their tool belt and the foundation that's been laid. We need to be able to lay that for them and to give them some of these things that'll, bring them success in their life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. And I know, and just any opportunity, even big or small, just a few words aptly spoken. I'm sure that sounds kind of like a proverb.
Yeah. I remember writing a blog once because I was feeling really convicted. I used the phrase, I don't know how often I used it, but Deb, it was, I just want to check out. I'm going to check out. Do you remember this? Like, I think, hello, we all want to check out sometimes. But I tell you, I got like a slap on the wrist by God. Like, you don't have that choice to check out.
Yeah,
you have to remain in the game. You are in the game, and you better stay in the game.
Exactly.
Yeah, we cannot check out as parents.
No.
And especially in these times,
Yeah.
We need to remain, we need to be disciplined ourselves, that's for sure. So.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.